Fly through a few things. So there was an article in the paper about the Minister Claire O'Neil reading the so-called Riot Act of the Housing Australia Board. What happened?
I wasn't on the board at the time of that article, Senator, so I wasn't present in the meeting.
Were you at the meeting?
So, Senator, I'm aware of the media reporting. It referenced a meeting that I think was a couple of weeks after I had joined the organisation. My recollection is that the Minister attended. It was one of her first attendances at the Housing Australia Board. She made clear her priorities. It was a constructive discussion, and that's my recollection.
Doesn't sound like reading the Riot Act then, does it?
Well, reading the Riot Act's a pejorative expression, Senator. What you can expect is that ministers in this government, where they've got organisations that have got a responsibility, are very clear with them about our expectations.
That's good, okay.
And that's not an unconstructive thing to do, to have that engagement with the boards that you've got responsibility for.
That's right. So she wasn't angry or raised her voice or anything like that?
Senator, my recollection is the Minister made clear her priorities. She has a style about giving absolute clarity of what she expects of the agency, which is appreciated. And as a very new CEO at the time of the agency, it helped me to understand where the priorities lay in terms of working with the board to implement those priorities.
Okay, Mr Rimmer, you've been going to the board meetings now. How many board meetings have you been to?
I believe I've been to 3.
Okay. And what sort of things do you comment on in the board meetings?
As a general rule, I comment when asked to comment by the chair or the other members of the board.
You're not. Do you wait to be asked to speak, or do you just throw your opinions on the table whenever?
As a general rule, I wait to be asked to speak. Senator.
Okay. Do you comment on funding judgments?
No, Senator. I'm not there to to get into the details of the commercial assessments that the Housing Australia Board is making. I'm there to ensure alignment between the government's policy objectives and their expectations of Housing Australia as an agency and the work of Treasury with the work that's actually going on within Housing Australia as an agency. I'm not there to second guess whether one provider or another should win a contract.
Fine, I wouldn't think so. But it is unusual. So do you go in there with a list of issues you want the board to consider?
I wouldn't describe that as being my approach. I mean, the board papers are made available to me, as other people would in a similar circumstance. I read the board papers. I think about issues that are of interest and concern to me, if any, in a very normal and appropriate way.
Okay. Have you raised at the board meeting your concerns or the government's concerns or the minister's concerns about the staff turnover?
I have not. And I just, at the risk of frustrating you, Senator, the organisation has changed significantly in the last 2 years. Another way of looking at staff turnover of 25% is that the average tenure of staff is 4 years. This is an organisation that's only been in existence for 7 years, and the first 4 to 5 years of those 7 years were frankly in a completely different operating model. So I don't actually consider staff turnover of 25% in this context to be unreasonable.
Okay, but you've been appointed to this role so you work in the Treasury, right?
Yes, Senator.
Okay, and you've been appointed to a new role, which is called Director General of Housing.
Yes.
Okay, and how did this role come about? Were you approached by the minister or by a minister, or how did it come about that you ended up in this job? Did you apply for a job?
There was a normal APS SES recruitment process.
Okay, so you applied for the job?
Yes.
Okay. You saw it in the Fin Review?
I can't recall how I saw it, Senator.
Okay. But did you have any informal discussion with the minister before you were appointed?
No, Senator.
Okay. So who made your appointment then?
The Secretary to the Treasury.
But your appointment to the board as an observer was done by the minister?
Yes, Senator. Okay,
so how often do you talk to the minister about the issues in Housing Australia?
Well, I talk to the minister about the programs that Housing Australia is running and the governance and performance of Housing Australia. I'm tempted to say daily. It's probably
daily.
A slight exaggeration to say daily, but certainly very frequently.
And do you have a personal phone number?
I do, Senator.
Okay, yeah. And do you meet with her at her electorate office?
I have yet to meet with the Minister in her electorate office, although I expect that to happen at some point. I understand she works from that office from time to time.
Okay, good. Now, I want to just quickly fly through Help to Buy. So you said that's opening tomorrow, Mr Langford? Or Mr Tagney?
Yes, it is, Senator.
Opening tomorrow?
The program commences from tomorrow.
Now, how many banks will offer it?
So initially, Senator, there are two banks in the initial
CBA
stage.
and is it Bank Australia?
Bank Australia, yes, sorry.
Okay. And will you be offering it will you require them to offer it through their broker channels?
Well, Senator, the distribution of financial product, including their loans, is a choice for them.
Matter for them. Okay. Now, what about the application of the credit laws here? So effectively, the Commonwealth puts forward its 40%, and then you hope that it'll be returned in future. There's no further checking, is there, other than what the bank does?
So, Senator, we do not undertake a credit, or have no plans to undertake a credit assessment of the individual. And we are operating the program within the legislative framework that's been set for us.
Okay, so just flying along to the next thing, the taxpayer may be worried about that, but it's probably above your pay grade. I just want to ask you do you know about a thing called the Federal Safety Commission?
I think you're referring to the Office of Federal Safety Commission in relation to construction?
Yeah, you know
Yes.
about it, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So is it true that you have to be in the FSC to be a HAF builder?
Well, Senator, not as a blanket statement, no.
No. But is it a question you ask?
So, Senator, we are, like other federal agencies, required to administer programs in accordance with the law. The law requires that where we're providing funding over certain dollar figures, and I'm sorry, I just don't have a recollection of those off the top of my head, that where it's funding construction, that the builder is accredited under that scheme. So that's set out in federal legislation. The Office of the Federal Safety Commission provides guidance on their website to assist builders to navigate whether that is a requirement for projects they may be undertaking in relation to Housing Australia programs.
Senator, you're right. 8 minutes.
Okay. Well, are you collecting... does it worry you that the CFMEU could be involved with these projects?
Well, Senator, that's not something I'm going to speculate on. I don't have knowledge of their involvement.
It's not something you're worried about?
Well, Senator, I expect that where we're funding projects, they will be built in accordance with the requirements of each state's building requirements and lawfully.
Okay. My two final questions are you collecting income decile information on people using the Home Guarantee Scheme?
Senator...
by that I mean the, whatever you call it now, 5% deposits.
Yeah, look, my colleague Ms Jarman's just come to the table, but...
Senator, yes, we do have information on individual borrower income. I don't have the decile breakdown in front of me, but we do have that.
You do have the income?
I think we undertook to come back on notice to Senator Roberts on exactly that question.
Okay. Because previously there was no... Sorry, there were income caps before, now there's none, so I imagine you're collecting that information. So
That's right.
you'll come back and provide that, will you?
We can provide that, yep.
Okay. Finally, I just want to check with whoever answers the corporate style questions. Do you know how much you paid Lander and Rogers in the last year?
Senator, we'll have to take that on notice. You
don't-
talk about across all
know.
matters they may be engaged for.
No one else here knows?
Sorry, Senator, we'll have to take that on notice.
Thanks a lot. You've been very generous.
Thank you, Senator Bragg. I'm now going to go to Senator Whitten.